Jordan delegated to KNET's Republic of Korea, FESFA Romania, NUSPS Singapore, NAPSA Australia delegated to NUSPS Singapore, SPSA Slovakia, DISHFSA Slovenia, CPSA Croatia delegated to DISHFSA Slovenia, PSET Thailand, TPAYC Turkey, BPSA United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, APHA ASP United States of America. Luca? So we assess the floor? You happy with that? Assess the floor? Okay. But have we reached a conclusion about the idea?
About delegation, yes, for a delegate report, we will assess the floor and then add it to the next changes.
I think we should let the Shepherds know first, so they have time if they want to communicate with Croatia. Because technically it's best interest.
Yes, that's true, but do we really have time for them to?
No, but we just let them know first, and if they don't have a response from Croatia by then we just proceed. But we give them a chance at least. Just a reminder that for Slovenia, because you're the only OD and you'll be running for elections later on, you'll have to delegate your votes. So since you also have a delegated vote from Croatia as well, if you could contact them now to see if they're happy to have their vote delegated to somebody, because technically it needs to be in their best interest. And let us know if you get a response. If not, we will assess the floor about how we want to proceed. Raise voting cards for those who are present. Thank you. I think I did count to 31. Okay. So SPSA Slovakia is not here, so they've lost voting rights for the session. So we have 30 voters in the House. Thank you. Just reminding you, we've run out of the secret ballot templates, but couldn't get new ones printed in time. So some of you will have handwritten sets from me with my signature. The empty side again is the side that has nothing on it. Yeah, limited edition.
Okay, so we will now begin. Procedural motion to resume the standing orders of JCPPHA Philippines, seconded by EPF Portugal. Anyone against? Thank you. We will now be starting with the elections of chairperson of student exchange. We have two candidates, both present. Please, we will first delegate the vote. Sorry for that near-death experience. The Shafisa, you have to delegate your vote. So, BPHD Germany, scrutineers, please take her voting card and her envelope. Okay, and about CPSA, did you contact them? Okay, who will they be delegating their vote to? France. Okay. Well, scrutineer, please take the both voting cards and envelopes. District Slovenia will go to BPHD Germany, and CPSA Croatia will go to Anna France. Okay, we will now have both candidates. Ms. Dorian, you can use the mic behind you. We will have the presentation from Ms. Dorian first. Please present. You have 3 minutes.
Hello everyone, I'm Dorian and I'm currently the CPF FSI round. I've been the SEO of FSI round for 3 mandates and this year was the 2nd year of being in a part of SEC members. And I believe with this experience it can help me to be the chairperson of Student Exchange. I mentioned my plans in my nomination form, and if I want to tell them briefly for you here, is that I believe that having a role as the regional exchange officer or the REO is very important because we have to know about regional difficulties which each region is experiencing. Second thing which I want to mention is that I believe that the SEP Digest official document that is related to SEP training agendas and SEP meeting agendas should be revised. The other point is that all SEOs believe that a global way to communicate other than email is very crucial to them, and I believe that we can give that social media to all the SEOs to have that group together. One of the important things is the promotional support of every MO promotioning their SEP, which I believe we can do it with the media and publication. The other important part is about the SEP grant, which was delayed, and I believe that with the communication with the treasurer, we have to do that more smooth. Also, I want to mention that one important thing to motivate SEOs is to announce the best SEO of the month more globally, for example, on the social media of the IPSF. Last but not least, I believe that teamwork is very important in this position, and being available all the time as a chairperson of Student Exchange is a value which I think is needed. And I believe that even though the time zones are different, I will be there for all SEP members and anyone that have concerns about SEP and answer the question and try to solve any problem as soon as possible. Thank you for considering me as a nominee of the chairperson of Student Exchange, and thank you for listening to my speech.
Thank you. We will now hear from Ms. Nusha.
Thank you for the floor. Hi, Nusha, candidate. You probably already get to know me, but let me reintroduce myself. I'm Nusha, current contact person of the IPSF Slovenia and also a Student Exchange Committee member. If you had told me like a few years ago that I would be standing here, I wouldn't believe you because this is quite nerve-wracking and it takes a lot of work. So what was my main motivation for becoming a nominee for the chairperson of Student Exchange position? I would probably say the care and passion for the Student Exchange program. The first time I was introduced to the program was when I helped our SEO with the incoming students. Later on, I decided to become our SEO. A year later, I didn't want to cut my ties with student exchange programs, so I became a student exchange committee member. With that, I believe I got to know about the project's behind-the-scene work. And based on that, I could feel what is essential to focus on and what can be improved. I believe you all read my nominations, so I would just like to point out some of my main goals I would focus on. And these are trying to keep the SEC team and consequently the SEOs motivated throughout the year, being involved with resolving the SEP database issues, improving and adjusting the SEO training sessions and meetings and other documents that need revising, figuring out the ways to better promote student exchange program, collaborating with the IPS treasurer for the release of the SEP grant, taking the right actions as soon as possible in the case of unresponsive SEOs, since this was the main problem we were facing this year, and of course being responsive and available for the SEC team and SEOs. Since Student Exchange Program is IPSF's largest and personally one of my favorite projects, I would love for it to keep improving and growing. I believe some work will have to be put into reorganization improvement, especially after the challenges we faced after pandemic. If elected, I would try my best to be responsive and contribute to the improvement as much as I can. Thank you, and I'll be happy to answer all of your questions.
Thank you. Now we will be opening the floor for discussion. We will start with IPF Portugal. The floor is yours.
Valeria of Portugal. First of all, thank you both for your applications. Regarding the application form reallocation project, what would be your suggestion for it to run more effectively? Thank you.
Thank you. We will be hearing from Ms. Dorian first.
Dorian, the candidate, thank you for your question. Actually, I believe that the main thing about the AFRP project is not understood by the SEOs as well as we can feel it. And I believe that we have to have training sessions regarding that to explain the whole 3 phases of the AFRP and how we manage to use those extra application forms. So I believe the first thing which is important is training and giving the information. Second thing is promotion, and let SEOs and member organizations know that how much important this actually opportunity is and can help them to raise their incoming or outgoing. Thank you.
Thank you. We will hear from Ms. Nusha next.
Nusha, candidate, thank you for your question. I agree that there is a lack of knowledge about the possibility of AFRP. That's why it's important to introduce to SEOs the project itself, and to present it in the ways that they will understand how all the phases, how they can apply, what are their responsibilities, what are the outcomes. Because of course we all want that as many students get the opportunity to do their SEP, since this is such an excellent opportunity for them. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now be hearing from BPSA UK. The floor is yours.
Shamsa, BPSA UK. So it's of the opinion that the SEO meetings can be quite repetitive and don't really provide new and engaging information. Is there anything that you would change to ensure SEOs leave the meetings with valuable information that would make them more driven and with the incentive to improve their program?
We have a clarification. Can you please clarify your question?
What? So do you want me to just read it out again?
Can you please?
So, can I just
Okay.
get a clarification? If you're asking what improvements can be made to the SEO meetings?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Nusha, please.
Nusha, candidate, thank you for the question. We got the feedback the SEO meetings are very repetitive, That's why I think it's important that we get feedback from SEOs, what they want to talk about, and provide agenda beforehand so they can prepare for it and then contribute some points if they want to add to the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Dorian.
Dorian, the candidate, thank you for your question. Actually, I believe that, yes, we all know that the agenda of the SEO meetings and trainings are repeating all the time, so that is why we believe that it should be revised. And the other point is that we get feedbacks through all the mandate from the SEOs who are present at the sessions, but unfortunately the agenda was fixed beforehand. So this mandate, we couldn't change anything regarding that as tech buddies. But I believe that even if the SEOs themselves communicate with each other through the sessions and mention their problems and what are their concerns, we can get more point of view about that, and also can manage SEO meetings, which is led by the SEOs themselves, in order to both train themselves in passing the information, and also when you are reading about something and searching for it, you will just discover about it better. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have a direct from Scoops Algeria.
Eub Scopes Algeria. Thank you both for your application. Last mandate in the SEO meetings, we all, like most of the SEOs, said their problems, but no actions were taken. What will you do as the SEP chairpersons if you were elected to solve their problems and not just listen to them, but actually take actions? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Dorian, we'll start with you.
Thank you for your question, Dorian, the nominee. I believe that when we receive comments, we have to take action. So that is the point. But when we give comments in different sessions by different SEOs, we have to gather the opinion and know how many people are accepting that or are against that. So I believe for even getting this point better, we used to have a global group, like a WhatsApp group or something like this, that all SEOs contribute in that. We can give feedbacks, you give feedback to us, and all of these can affect to the work. I believe that if the chairperson have the time and put the effort on it, can change the agenda and give information even person by person, which I believe which is important, because challenges for different regions and different member organizations are different from each other. So personal programs also should be included in them. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Ms. Nusha. Please answer.
Nusha, candidate, thank you for your question. I believe it would be crucial to have some sort of to analyze the feedback and to talk about with first maybe other student exchange committee members to see where what problems are SEO facing, what their feedback was on the SEO meeting itself, so we can see what we can actually improve in the next session. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we'll hear from Anne France. The floor is yours.
Claire Anne France. For some countries, it's difficult to find an internship because of the lack of recognition from the professionals and the internship supervisor. How do you think we could improve this recognition so we can find internships more easily and so more SEP? Thank you.
Thank you. We have a clarification.
Could you please repeat the question?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So basically the question, Claire Anne France.
Yes, proceed.
How do you think we could improve the recognition of the SEP so we can find internships more easily? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nusha, we'll begin with you.
Just to clarify, you're asking about recognition of student exchange programs.
Okay, please proceed.
Nusha candidate, thank you for your question. I believe that there was done some promotion for SEP, but it was done more by only MOs. It wasn't as vast, like, for example, in the region or on the global level as well. So I believe that working with the media and publications teams, we can increase, for example, some posts, some stories, something to also present to potential partners or for some companies or community pharmacies to be interested, to get to know that this project actually exists, because now it's the promotion is mostly done, MOs mostly do their promotions on their own, and it's not that global. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Dorian, please proceed.
Thank you for your question, Dorian, the nominee. I believe that, yes, promotion is really important, and it was used to be done like competitions or even training sessions within the SEOs. And, for example, letting them have promotional materials through the SEP Digest, but that was not enough in my opinion. And I believe other things that we can make is like collaboration with other portfolios of IPSF. For example, PD, PHPE. All of them can have programs with collaboration of the student exchange, as we know that the student exchange program is an international program that gives the opportunity to all students to participate in both cultural and knowledgeable phase of the exchange program. So we may also increase the knowledge about the student exchange by collaborating with other portfolios and with different types of programs, both scientific and cultural. Thank you.
Thank you. We will be hearing from UPF Portugal next.
Beatriz up of Portugal. We would like to ask regarding the SEP Digest, if you think it is still a valuable project within the portfolio, and if yes, what changes should be done to this project? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Dorian, please start.
Thank you for your question, Dorian the nominee. Actually, I believe that this mandate, we didn't have that much SEP Digest, and actually the thing that was mentioned in it was also copied by the others. I believe that we can change this. If we change the whole sections and everything, that could be something to help the SEOs. And I think that maybe things that are mentioned in the SEP Digest should also be taken from the ideas of SEOs and what they need. I think that the parts, for example, like the best SEO was the good thing to motivate people, but motivation only in the SEP Digest, which only the SEO has the access to it, is not enough. And I believe that also should be announced more globally, for example, on social media. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we'll hear from Ms. Nusha.
Nusha candidate, thank you for a question. Yeah, I agree with what Dorian said, that SEP Digest didn't reach its potential this year, and also since it's only accessible to SEOs, for example, others can't see what is actually happening during the SEP year, which is a disadvantage because through SEP Digest we could also maybe provide some spotlights for some countries that need more students to apply for their student exchange programs. But for that, we would have to share those information, like not only with SEOs, but also others, because we don't know how SEOs actually promote their student exchange programs amongst their students. And it might be lacking on that level, so yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have BMFF UNIR.
Evelyn, BMFF UNIR Indonesia. Thank you for both of your applications. In our experience, the application process for new member organizations in the student exchange program took quite some time, which rendered us unable to join the AFRP and also the winter SEP. Do you have any suggestions to improve the flow of new application to the SEP program? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nusha, do you have a clarification?
Yeah, could you just repeat the question part, please?
So my question is, do you have any suggestions to improve the workflow of new applications of member organizations in SEP? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nusha?
Nusha candidate. So you were asking about to improve applications for SEP. I think crucial thing is to promote SEP for on itself, to introduce SEP, what are the benefits of joining SEP, what are the opportunities, what can students gain from that, maybe to provide them some other aspects from other MOs, what they can, for example, do for their student exchange program. So I think, yeah, that's mostly it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dorian.
Thank you for your question, Dorian the nominee. Actually, I believe that for the AFs and the member organizations participating in STEP, one of the most crucial things is that the start and end date of the STEP program in each member organization is not precise, and you don't know. When you apply for a member organization, they said that we run out of applications and everything is taken, and some of them still have available placements and nobody applied for them. So this is a very crucial problem that we should take action about it. For example, like a form that any member organization mentioned that how many quotas it has, how many are taken, and how many are still available. I believe that promotion regarding that is also important. All the member organizations who are joining the STEP should have the opportunity to be a part of STEP. So many of them have visa difficulties or these kinds of things that may be something that don't let them join the STEP. We try our best to keep this in mind before, so we can start the date of their STEP program earlier to provide these types of problems. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have TPAYC Turkey dropped. Thank you. Next we have My PSA Malaysia. The floor is yours.
My PSA. Thank you for the floor. So I would like to ask some questions regarding plans or alternative to the database functions. So as we all know, the database is really crucial for us to gather the application forms and such. And there are a few problems that we have been consistently facing with the database, like the passwords or some of the documents that are uploaded cannot be viewed and such. And I don't really think that switching to using emails is efficient, because we, as SEOs, we always have a bunch of emails in our Google Gmail account. So have you considered other alternatives to overcome the problems faced in the database, other than just using emails among ourselves to settle the lack of functions in the database?
Thank you. We will start with Ms. Dorian. The floor is yours.
Thank you for your question, Dorian Nominee. Yes, I can feel the problem that you mentioned, and the database is having so many problems right now. So I believe that we should think about alternatives. For example, one of the alternatives which I believe can help us is, again, like a Google Sheet that everyone can have the member organization, number of students, and which fields they have. And also the other thing to make communication easier between the SEOs, maybe on social media. I believe that a group can help us having access to other SEOs' social media accounts. But the final thing as to be documented should be by the email, I believe. But the things that you want to communicate, let know if there is available placement or not, and these kinds of communication can be taken in a more user-friendly platforms. And regarding the documents and all of the things that are available on the database, I believe that we can have a Google Drive to have all of them included, so you can all have access to it anytime that you want. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we'll hear from Ms. Nusha.
Nusha, candidate. Thank you for your question. Yes, SEP database has been facing problems for quite some time now. And I agree that communication through email can be very time-consuming, since some SEOs are not even responsive. But yeah, I agree that we need something more official to have everything documented when we are talking about where is student going, what is doing, etc. I believe that also some other platforms, some SEOs are already using SEO Facebook group to promote their SEP and to say how many quota they have left, which are the fields they still can accept students. So that can be taken into account. And also there was some mention of like a global WhatsApp group where like very quick, informal communication can be taken. For example, one SEO can ask, I still have this one placement left in this field for this. Is anyone interested? Please contact me, and then they continue their communication like in more formal way. But yeah, of course, the sub-database issue should be taken into account. And since the website wasn't the priority for this year's media and publications team, I believe that next year we should take more action regarding that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have APF Portugal. The floor is yours.
Valer APF Portugal, we would like to ask what would you change regarding the way that the best SEOs are chosen? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nusha.
Nusha candidate, thank you for your question. For now, we only have Google form to nominate the best SEOs, where either student exchange committee members or SEOs can nominate some other SEOs. I believe that we could add the second and third place for the best SEOs to get them more encouraged to be more active, maybe for the next month. And also we can announce it more on more social media platforms, so everyone else can see, oh, this one is doing very well, let's see what they're working on, and they can get even more recognition. That might also increase the activity of other SEOs. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dorian. We have a clarification from Ms. Dorian about Portugal.
Dorian, the nominee. Sorry, I just wanted to clarify that you mean the best SEO or the SEOs of each association member organization?
Valer APF Portugal, the best SEOs.
Thank you. Ms. Dorian, please reply.
Thank you for your question. Actually, I believe that this year, when the SEOs are also taking part in nominating and voting for the best SEO of the month, is a good progress. But when we don't have a platform that all SEOs knows each other and work together, they cannot have enough idea about who is working, who is not working, and what is happening. So I believe a group and something that everyone can see the work, share the work, hey guys, I'm doing like this is my placement. And these kinds of things can help us to know better about the SEOs, to nominate the SEOs who have the criteria of being the best SEO, because the only ones that know what is happening regarding the member monthly reports are the SEC bodies. Also, one other thing that I believe is that the monthly updates should be shared with all the SEOs who are taking place in the STEP program to know what is happening in each member organization. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a direct from APHA ASP USA.
Joanne from APHA ASP USA. I just have a suggestion, perhaps, because I do know that on the database, when every incoming student finishes their SEP experience, they need to evaluate the SEO. Would it be possible to take these evaluations from these people who actually have the actual experience and interaction with the SEO and use that to evaluate the best SEO? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Dorian, we'll start with you.
So, Dorian, the nominee, thank you for your question. Yes, I believe that this is an important point to think and keep in mind, but the other thing is that the SEO's responsibility is not only to be there for the students who are coming on the STEP program. Actually, planning for the STEP program, finding participants, finding pharmacies or companies that would like to participate in the STEP program, and all of these things are also considered for being the best SEO, being responsive, and all of these to other SEOs. Maybe one of the criteria should be how they act with the students who are coming on the student exchange program, which is one of the most important thing about the SEOs. But yes, I believe many criteria should be taken in action, and the criteria of the best SEO of the month should be revised too, in order to have all these works that SEOs are done all together in one place. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nusha.
Nusha candidate, thank you for your suggestion. This is definitely something to take into account. Since there are different criteria for the best SEO, and for maybe we can even like remind the SEOs what are those criteria once again to see, yeah, it's not only promotion, it's also like being responsive, being active in SEO meetings, providing your input, helping others, and such things. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a new comment from Afro Portugal. The floor is yours.
Catherine, FU Portugal. Thank you so much for both applications. How do you intend to work in order? How do you intend to work in order to make SEP fair for students? For example, there are some countries that offer accommodations, and other countries that the student has to pay and to cover for their costs. And we would like to know if you have any ideas to work with the SEOs, especially regarding the accommodation. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a clarification from Ms.
I'm
Nusha.
sorry, I didn't get your question. Could you please?
Can you please repeat your question, Afro Portugal?
Catherine, FU Portugal. How do you plan to work in order to make SEP fair for students? For example, there are some countries that the accommodation are included and the host association cover the costs, and there are another countries that the student has to cover all of their costs regarding the accommodation. And our question is that if you have any ideas to work with the SEOs, especially regarding the accommodation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nusha.
Just to clarify, your theme was the probation period? No? I'm sorry.
Okay, please answer.
Nusha candidate, I'm so sorry about that. I believe that it's important that those SEOs who provide accommodation share their pros and cons, why they are doing in that way, how are they approaching the accommodations, how would they advise others to take action regarding that, how to at least help the students to get accommodation like as cheap as possible if needed, because staying somewhere for 2 weeks at least can be quite expensive, and if you are from that country, the SEO or LEOs, and you more know about, for example, about the areas, about the whole country, you can like provide the students more information, so this should be encouraged. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Yan, please go next.
There's a clarification, I believe.
Okay, clarification from
Catarina FU Portugal. Just a clarification from my side. So if you got elected, your intention is to provide an environment during the meetings, for example, which the SEOs can share their knowledge about the accommodation and how they organize this, right?
Yes, I guess.
Thank you.
How about you guys go upstage a bit, because the sound back here is bad. So yes, just try standing as front as possible. Mr. Yan, go ahead.
So, thank you for your question, Darian Nominee. I wanted to mention that regarding these kinds of differences between member organizations, we have to keep in mind that different countries have different limitations and different situations. Their expenses, how they are getting support, all of these may affect the way that they are providing accommodations. So sharing experiences is really important, and we suggest that. But I believe that the profile of each country and member organization participating in SEP should mention their situation. For example, if they are providing accommodation, what type of accommodation is it? Is it Airbnb or hotels, these kinds of thing, and sharing the information so that the students know about the situation beforehand joining and applying for that country is good, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll next hear from Anne France. The floor is yours.
Claire Anne France. In some countries, we see that the interest about the virtual SEP decreased since the end of COVID-19. Sorry, too quick. Do you think it's still a project that can be set up, and how can we improve it so the student will be interested in it? Thank you. It was about the virtual SEP. So.
Virtual SEP, yes. Ms. Dorian, go ahead.
Dorian Nominee, thank you for your question. I believe virtual SEP is still beneficial because many of countries do not have that much quota to host enough students to their country. And as we know, virtual SEP has two parts. It can be cultural or even having knowledge and science parts. So I think that even we can take it as a virtual program, like what PHPD and these kinds of portfolios are taking. We can have this program as a way to improve the communication between the countries, and also a way for the SEOs to promotion their in-person SEP, giving information about their in-person SEP, the research fields, the fields that they have in their countries, so they can raise the number of people joining their in-person SEP. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nusha, go next, please.
Nusha candidate, thank you for your question. I believe the virtual SEP is a very good opportunity to show others how student exchange program works in a certain country. For example, some students already start looking at the SEP, IPSF SEP website to see all the countries where can they do the SEP. They read about the countries, but if they get additional information about that, it might be easier for them to choose the country they want to go to, for example, a year later or two. So I really believe this is a great opportunity to provide information about the culture, the country, the student exchange program, what can they expect. Also, if students have some questions, they can ask there, and they can get answers that can, for example, help them with their decision. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a new comment from BPHD Germany. The floor is yours.
BPHD Germany, thank you for your applications. So the IPSF website often can be the first and main source for students to receive SEP information. However, the information currently provided might not always be up to date. So what improvements would you implement for the SEP pages on the IPSF website? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nusha.
Nusha candidate, thank you for your question. Yes, I agree that the information provided there is not always up to date. We already encourage SEOs to do so and then put a date below everything to see how up to date the information actually are. But I think it's crucial to encourage the SEOs to revise like every year what they can provide for their student exchange program, if there are any differences, any additions, and then revise everything and rewrite if it's needed. But of course, it's very crucial for that. Additionally, I would definitely encourage their SEC bodies to remind SEOs, yeah, don't forget, you need to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Dorian.
Thank you for your question, Dorian Nominee. One of the criteria of being the best SEO is to keep your portfolio, your parts of the member organization updated in the STEP database. But the part is when the whole database is not working correctly, maybe people don't go to that part, so to check the updated information, I believe maybe having something to share social medias of every member organization can help them. I suggest all member organizations to have social media for their SEP program especially, and promote over there and let other member organizations know what is happening over there. Maybe checking social media and being active on there is more attractive to the SEOs, although we have to keep in mind that being official and updating the information in the database is also important, and this is the criteria that we are going to evaluate the SEOs. Thank you.
Thank you. We will here have a direct from KNAPS Korea.
Thank you for the floor. Min-jae from KNAPS Korea. By looking at this, it's a direct regarding the updates in the IPSF homepage and SEP countries. Looking at the list of the countries that provide the SEP programs, there seems to be a lot of errors regarding the country's name and the association's name, such as KNAPS South Korea, Taiwan PSA China, and Philippines JPPHAPI. I think those are, I want to ask the candidates if they're aware of these issues and how they're trying to resolve this issue. Thank you.
We have a clarification from Ms. Dorian.
Sorry, Dorian nominee. You mean the issue with the database that the SEOs are mentioned the same in the three-member organization, am I right?
Yes.
Dorian nominee, I just wanted to mention that this is a technical problem regarding the SEP database, and we have many issues with SEP database, that this is one of them. I believe that this year with the media and publication team, we try our best to solve these problems, but if not, we have to take serious action regarding that, because this is the crucial way to have information about SEP. We may take alternatives if we see that it is not going to be solved as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Nusha, go ahead.
Nusha candidate. Yeah, to add to that, I really believe it's very crucial to work hand to hand with the media and publications team, because there are a lot of information you can get from the SEP database. Those are the basic informations and also that is usually the first social media platform that you go to get some information about the country. So these should be taken into consideration and focus on in the next mandate. Thank you.
We have a procedural motion from KNPSV, the Netherlands.
On the KNPSV, the Netherlands, we propose a procedural motion to close the floor for the discussion.
Thank you. Seconded by TPAYC Turkey. All those against? All those for? Okay, so motion carried. So we will now proceed to close discussion. Please turn off your devices. Live stream off, please. Live stream on. Thank you so much. So we will now be announcing the results. Dorian 15 and Nusha 15 and 0 reopen. So according to Article 10.6.5, I'll read the article first. According to Article 10.6.5 of the standing orders, in the event that there are only 2 nominees for a particular office and they each receive the same number of votes, or if no nominee receives a simple majority, a motion to reconsider the motion may be made. If no simple majority is then reached, the office remains vacant and second round elections shall take place. To simply clarify this, reconsidering a motion means that we are going to redo the elections, as in we are going to have them say their motivation again, and we're going to open the floor for discussion again, and then we're going to vote again. And then after the voting, if it remains the same, then they will both basically be not accepted, and they can't run for second round, and we'll have new applicants in the second round elections. Now we have a procedural from IPSF executives.
Thank you for the floor, IPSF Sec Gen Soen. We, EXCO, would like to raise a procedural motion to reconsider the motion.
Thank you. IPSF executives do not need a seconder, so we now open the floor for discussion. Okay. Point of information at Motions Committee.
Sebastian Motions Committee, just to let everyone know, this needs a 2/3 majority to pass. Thanks.
Sorry?
It needs a 2/3 majority to pass. Thank you.
Exactly, it needs a 2/3 majority, and again, I'd repeat that if after the results are still even, then they are both considered not accepted and cannot run for second round elections. So we have a clarification at AFOP Austria.
Alex of Austria. So when the result is the same after the voting, they cannot run for second round.
Exactly.
And if we don't do the second voting now, can they still run for a second round?
No, because they have reached both equal results. One of them has to reach simple majority.
So we either get now a winner or none of them.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to reach a simple majority in order for one of them to be elected. So we will now continue. Does anyone have any comments? I see no comments, so we will now proceed to voting on we will close the floor for discussion and proceed to voting on the motion to reconsider this motion. All those for? Okay, thank you. Motion carried. We will now be reconsidering the motion, so we will basically be starting the elections from the beginning. We will hear the motivation of Ms. Dorian first.
Hello everyone. As mentioned before, I'm Dorian, and I'm currently the CP of IPSF Iran. So I've been the SEO of IPSF Iran for 3 mandates. I've been in the SEC body team for 2 mandates, and I believe that this gives me enough knowledge about the SEP program and experience which can help me. So the reason that I was nominated is that I believe that I can change the way that things are happening in the SEP program, and I think that there is a need to get change. The plans that I mentioned before, I'm going to mention them again. One of them is to have a regional exchange officer for every region, so in order to know specific problems of each region. The other thing is to revise the official document subpart, SEO meetings and trainings, sessions, agendas, and also I think that one of the most important thing about being this in SEP is working together and have a good teamwork, because everyone should be possible to work with us and be responsible, and make him or herself included in the SEP program. Taking action regarding the new ideas which we have and we get from the SEOs. The other thing is that I believe SEP grant is important to member organizations, so we have to work with the treasurer. Promotion materials to the MOs are important, so media and publication should take action regarding that, and we have to work close together. One of the other things is that the end and start date of the SEP for each member organization should be more precise. Also, one of the other things that I wanted to mention is that best SEO being chosen with a better criteria and revising the criteria of best SEO, having a global group for SEOs is one of the things that I'm taking in mind. And best SEOs also should be announced publicly on social media maybe. And I believe the most important thing is being accessible and available to all member organizations and anyone interested in STEP. So I will be there for anyone interested in STEP and want to know about STEP, want to take part in STEP, and no matter the time zone difference or anything. So I believe I will do my best to be there for all of the members, and thank you for giving your time to me.
Thank you. Next we'll hear from Ms. Nusha.
Nusha candidate, so hi again. I was the SEO for 1 year. I was in Student Exchange Committee for 1 year, which might seem I have less experience, well, definitely have less experience than Dorian, but still I believe I would dedicate my time to try to improve the student exchange program, to analyze how things stand now, because I believe that after the COVID, especially this year, the standard of student exchange program decreased, and I would very much like for it to get on its form in its prime times. I would work hard with my student exchange committee team to brainstorm what can we improve. I would also include all of the feedbacks from SEOs. I would reconsider every feedback we would receive, to think about it, to talk about it with my team, to talk about it with the SEOs, for where we can start improving the student exchange program. So in the next mandates, it can grow even more. Yeah, I already said my motivation before, and I believe I said enough for now. Thank you.
Thank you. We will be opening the floor for discussion. We'll hear from AFOP Austria first.
Alex, AFEP Austria. What do you think are the 3 strongest points of the other candidate? No?
Clarify your question, please repeat it.
What are the strongest points you think of the other candidate has in his application?
What do you think are the strength points?
The strongest points
of your opposite candidate?
Yes.
So Dorian thinks of Nusha the strongest points, and Nusha thinks of Dorian strongest points.
Can I?
Clarify. Yes, you're gonna be Dorian directing the question to me, please. And yes, you're gonna say your strongest points in Nusha, and Nusha's gonna say your strongest points in.
Sure.
Proceed.
So thank you for your question. The most important thing is that I believe that Nusha was responsive, hold the mandate, and was the one who was responsible every time available. We worked together, and we actually mostly worked together during the mandate. And she has skills like public speaking, time managing, and I believe that although she had 1 year being SEO and SEC, she learned a lot. She knows many things about student exchange program, and very skilled. The thing that I know about her, the communication skills, how to manage work and everything. Thank you.
Sorry, Ms. Nusha, proceed.
Nusha candidate, thank you for the nice words. Dorian has experience since she's been connected with the student exchange program for bigger period of time. She could see from in different mandates how things stand, and she might better understand where are the weak points. She's very responsive. Every time I turn to her, she responded to me immediately. She had ideas. She was also very cooperative and active in the SEO meetings. She provided her input. She tried to help the SEOs. Yeah, and I could feel her passion for the project. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from CCPSA. The floor is yours.
Dominika, CZPSA, Czech Republic. What do you think about getting additional quota for wheelchair SAP? Thank you.
Please repeat your question.
Dominika, CZPSA, Czech Republic. What do you think about getting additional quota for organizing a virtual SAP? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nusha, please start.
Nusha candidate, thank you for your question. Everyone that provides virtual SAP already gets additional quota, which I believe it's very encouraging for MOs to do so. And I believe that through that, it's also a great opportunity to promote not only SEP in their country, but like student exchange program in general. So I totally support that we give them some sort of reward for their hard work, because they had to provide all the information, gather everything, and present their work. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Dorian.
Dorian, nominee, thank you for your question. I believe that we give extra application form to the member organizations who are conducting virtual SAP, which we consider it as something to motivate more member organizations to be a part of virtual SAP. And I believe beside giving extra AFs, we have to keep in mind that which countries mostly need extra AFs for incoming students or outgoing students, because the situation of member organization is different from each other. We give this opportunity as something to help them, and other things that we may consider about this is maybe other kinds of rewards like grants or something like this, but the thing you mentioned is already in what is taking in action. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Fast for Romania. Drop. Thank you. We have BBSA UK. Floor is yours.
Shamsa, BPSA UK. So as a SEC member, what did you do during the mandate to kind of bridge the gaps that were created by the current chairperson of the Student Exchange?
Thank you. We'll start with Ms. Dorian. We have a clarification.
Dorian nominee, just to clarify, you mean what we did as a part of SEP with the chairperson of Student Exchange during this mandate?
Yes.
So, in this mandate, we had SEC meetings at first, but the situation was a bit complicated because health issues came to the table, and the SEC meetings also didn't run well, so we didn't have that much information about what's going on. But the thing that we were doing was being prepared for the trainings and meetings, taking minutes of every sessions, gathering the questions and ideas of all member organization and SEOs, and just let the chairperson of student exchange know about the situation. But unfortunately, we didn't have the authority to take action. We were only the one who transferred the information and couldn't do anything more than that. If we had the opportunity to take action, we would. Thank you.
We have a clarification at BPSA UK.
Shams, BPSA UK. I'm sorry, I don't know if it's a clarification or a direct point, but I meant you as an individual. I didn't mean at, like, the whole of SEC. Like, what did you do specifically? Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Yan. Please repeat.
So, as a clarification, do you mean what I did as a SEC member? Yes, of course. So the thing that I did was preparing the materials for the offline training sessions. For example, the database training video, which was shared with the student officers. Also, the official document training video, which was sent to the SEOs. We led the SEO meetings and training sessions all together. Transferring the ideas of different SEOs to the chairperson of Student Exchange, helping our members to run their Student Exchange smoothly. Whenever they had any problems, they reached to us and we answered them at the point that we have the authority. At the other points, we usually used to say that please reach to the chairperson of Student Exchange because we couldn't do anything more than that. And also, taking actually care of the member organizations who were under probation and see what is happening over there, getting reports from them and checking the monthly updates of each SEO. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nusha, next.
Nusha candidate, thank you for your question. So yeah, first I had a certain amount of SEOs that were in my SEC buddy group. So I collected all of their monthly updates each month. Then I was available for them to be the first person to reach out to when they had any problems. Secondly, yes, I also participated in like giving the SEO meetings. Additionally, the current chairperson reached out to me to prepare the Google Forms for the SEO meetings to be prepared, like to select the dates, prepare like the drafts, like templates for that I could share with other SEC members to help me prepare the materials for SEO meetings and trainings. The current chairperson also reached out to me to set the date, to find a date for our SEC meetings. So preparing the some sort of doodle poll, or I don't know how it's called. Then each month we had a different SEC member to be some sort of like a alarm SEC member to remind other SEC and reach out to them how their work is going, if they have any problems. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a direct from IPF Portugal. The floor is yours.
Beatriz, IPF Portugal. Still regarding SEC and your SEC experience, what is the main thing that you learned during this mandate or previous mandate, for in Dorian's case, regarding SEP and how you would implement that in your own mandate if elected?
Thank you. Ms. Nusha?
Nusha candidate. This year, I felt like our team wasn't as connected as it should be. I believe that teamwork is the primary thing for the project to work. I believe we should work together to achieve something. That might be due to lack of interaction between SEC members. For example, we didn't have regular SEC meetings where we could brainstorm how could we improve something in, for example, next month, next weeks. We didn't analyze all the feedback we received from the SEO meetings, from the SEO trainings, I believe that should also be taken into consideration in the next mandate, so certain actions can be done. So yeah, I think it's mostly to strengthen the team spirit for the SEC members, since they also can motivate their SEOs to do their job better. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we'll hear from Ms. Dorian.
Dorian Nominee, thank you for your question. Actually, as mentioned, the most important thing in a group is teamwork and being connected with each other. And I also believe that one of the most important things is take action regarding the inputs and ideas that you receive. Unfortunately, we received many ideas during this mandate, but none of them were actually take to the place and take to the action. I think that being a SEC let me know about the differences of different countries, different regions, and what they really need, what are the problems, what are their concerns. And mostly the thing that this mandate was done was continuing the path that was done before. I believe that SEC and SEB, all the program, need new ideas and different things to try. Because the situation has changed, maybe COVID changed everything, and now different member organizations have different concerns. So I believe that with being in connection with SEO, SEC buddies, and receiving concerns and ideas, we can improve how SEP is going on and being aware of what is happening around us. Not only giving plans for what we want to do, but what others expect us to do. Thank you.
Thank you. We have another direct from Scopes Algeria. The floor is yours.
Eub, Scopes Algeria, thank you both for your application. You both expressed that you couldn't do a lot as SEC buddies last year, considering the absence of the SEP chairperson. If you were elected as chairperson, do you plan to give more power to SEC buddies to do stuff when you were absent or not? Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Dorian, go ahead.
Thank you for your question, Dorian Nominee. So regarding the SEC meetings, I believe that we had one and it was not that much functional. If we can reach out the chairperson of Student Exchange with new ideas and giving the ideas to be implemented, I think it's the best part to, somehow be in touch online. But the other thing that I believe is, somehow it's not only the SEC who is transferring the ideas to the chairperson, but also they were SEOs directing their question to the chairperson of Student Exchange. So I think there should be a workflow through the Student Exchange committee whole itself, chairperson, SEC members, and the SEOs. This is why I think that a regional exchange officer is important for the position. If a problem or an issue is not solved by any of the other members, then we should consider it as a problem and take into consideration.
Just to clarify, my question was, as SEC buddies, you didn't have the authority to solve the problems directly, and you had to contact the SEP chairperson, which was most of the time absent. My question is, if you were elected, would you give more authority to the SEC, your SEC buddies, your SEC team, to solve the problems themselves if you weren't available?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Dorian, is the question clear now?
Thank you. So yes, of course, because I believe that everything needs to be a teamwork. One person cannot handle everything at the same time. And if it's going to be like this, what is the point of having SEC? Because SEC are the one who are getting the ideas about student exchange program from the SEOs, but not having any authority to do anything. Without that, that doesn't seem really logical. But at first, every point should be think about and considered in the group. And then when the group approve that, any of the SEC members also have the authority to take action. Because sometimes we experience that someone had health issues and also personal problems, which is understandable. we can understand that. But just letting the work to get shut down, that is not the solution. So everyone needs to have the authority to solve the problem as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nusha, go next.
Nusha candidate, thank you for your question. I believe that if the SEC members had bigger authority, that would also lower the workload for the chairperson of student exchange to focus more on the problems that only chairperson of student exchange can solve. For example, regarding the database, since they have the access to the database themselves, but other things that SEC members can resolve with their SEOs on their own should be done through them. They can always ask for other additional opinion from other SEC members, from the chairperson, but they should still have an option to do something on their own. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a direct from BPSA UK. Floor is yours.
Shams to BPSA UK. So with the SEC members, do you think that there should be set responsibilities for each person? Just because this past Monday, from what I've saw, it was just kind of tasks were kind of just thrown out into the group chat and then was asked who wants to kind of, do it. And some tasks weren't fulfilled because no one said that they wanted to do it. So yeah, what do you think about that?
Thank you. We'll start with Nusha.
Nusha candidate, thank you for your question. The work should be divided as equally as possible, I believe, so someone doesn't work more and gets more stressed, more tired, loses their motivation. For that, I believe regular SEC meetings could improve that, because they can always say, oh, this month I won't be available, or I'm facing this, can someone help me? And then others can provide some additional help at least for that period of time. And after that, they can solve their problems and then work on their work, do their work more properly. So yeah, I believe through good communication, there will be also better teamwork and better result at the end. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Dorian.
Thank you for your question, Dorian Nominee. So I believe the most important thing about the whole portfolios and everywhere in the IPSF is to being responsible. So when you're a member of SEC team or you are the SEO, so you accepted the responsibility of being a part of the team. And I believe that motivation is really important to be active in the team. So one of the most important things is to keep the team motivated. And I believe that everyone knows at what point they're good and they're not good at. Maybe someone is good at promotion or communication, others are good with graphic design and these kinds of things. So for SEC members or the members that we are choosing to help us, we need to have a form to collect their abilities and how they can help us to divide the roles that we need in the student exchange program more logically, and ask them that if there is any problem, and let the whole team know about it, not skipping the responsibilities with no reason, and someone have to do all the work by her or him own. And we can understand the problems, but if we are we know about it earlier, we can manage it. For example, like what now is doing the SEP internship, getting help from others, and these types of actions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Asipa Algeria. The floor is yours.
Sarah, Asipa Algeria, thank you both for your applications. My question is actually pretty simple. Why should we vote for you? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dorian. Please start.
Oh, yes. Thank you for your question. Actually, I started my journey in IPSF by being a part of executive member of the SEP running out through my country. And I really loved it. Being in contact with different people from different countries, different types of thinkings, different languages. And this was the reason that I got more included. I became the LEO and then the SEO, then a part of SEC members. And I really like that the SEP program is an international program with no borders and everyone can participate in it. So being in connection with different countries and try my best to use my skills and abilities to solve any problems, give the chance to students to have a good experience of both traveling to another country and experiencing something really exciting and getting the knowledge about pharmacy. I believe pharmacy in different countries is really different as we experience it today in the symposiums. We understand that we have differences with other countries about the laws or even the knowledge. So I believe being a part of this is really lovely, and I do my best to solve any problem that it is here. I've been in the SEC team for 2 years and being an SEO for 3 years. I've seen many problems, I see many gaps, and I believe that I'm aware of them. And last year I was also a nominee, and I really wanted to make this process smoother so that everything gets better. Everyone can enjoy SEP and not facing any problems, and make everything go clear first and smooth. And one of the other things is that I believe I can be available.
Thank you, Ms. Nusha. Please go ahead.
Nusha candidate, thank you for your question. My passion and love for student exchange program grew each step I took to get to know about the project like in more details. This year when it didn't reach the potential as the student exchange program can have for students to get to know the culture, the work of the pharmacy, to meet new people from different countries, to get the experience, to make them grow. Since some students couldn't achieve this year, it made me a bit sad. And that's why I would really love for people to experience this at least once, even though I didn't experience it myself. When I was hearing stories about other students, where they were, how they worked, and especially from students that came to Slovenia while I was an SEO to got their feedback, to meet them finally after months of speaking online. It filled me with such joy, and yeah, I believe that everyone deserves to get this opportunity if they get a chance. But for do that, we need to improve things, definitely. We need to reorganize things, to think about where we stand with the project and then work on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we'll be hearing from APF Portugal, dropped. Thank you. Next we'll be hearing from FJCPP, dropped. Thank you. Next we'll be hearing from APHA ASP USA. Dropped. Thank you. Next we'll be hearing from BMFFUI.
Thank you for the floor. Adam from BMFFUI. So to associations who only get a partial or no handover, what content are you willing to bring to handover in order to ensure that SEOs of this disadvantage can still perform well on SEP?
Thank you. We have a clarification from
Could
Ms.
you
Nusha?
please repeat the question, because it's really hard to hear.
Okay. So associations who only got a partial or no handover, what content are you willing to bring to the handover in order to ensure that SEOs of this disadvantage can still perform well on student exchange program?
Thank you.
So just to clarify, you're asking how to educate new SEOs who are not that familiar with the student exchange program.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Yes, did you get the question?
Yeah.
Okay, then please proceed.
Nusha candidate, thank you for that question. Um, good question. There could be an addition. Well, for that, we have SEO trainings, for example, where the simple things, step by step, are mentioned to SEOs and where they can ask questions and so on. But I believe that training this year, well, there was only one session, wasn't as effective as it could be. And I believe that the training session wasn't promoted as it should be for the other SEOs. Maybe they didn't understand, oh, this is more for the newer SEOs to get the basic information, to get the timeline about how SEP works. So yeah, I believe the SEO training should be provided for those kind of SEOs. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Dorian, please go next.
Thank you for your question, Dorian Nomini. I wanted to mention that when an SEO is joined to the SEP program, the first thing that we can do is to send the official documents, especially after the page 72, I believe, which is telling about student exchange program to them to read and let to know more about the student exchange. And after knowing a bit about student exchange, I believe that the work that we started this year, the offline sessions of training, can be useful for them because they can use it anytime that they face any problems. They usually used to have SEO handover with the previous SEO, but the ones who are newly joined, a SEC member can be the one who lead the training session maybe in person and one face-to-face, one by one, and let to know what the concerns are, what are the problems, and in order that the problem was not solved, we can have other solutions for that. For example, more trainings, more sessions, even connecting them with SEOs who are doing great and doing a good job to let them know about the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from PSA Taiwan. The floor is yours.
Okay. Hello, this is Emily from PSA Taiwan. So I would like to ask, what methods or contribution have you tried to improve the setting when it is during your mandate? Because I believe that when someone is really motivated for their team, they will try everything to improve the workflow. And especially when you found that your boss is not responding, like what exactly methods have you tried to improve this? Thank you.
Thank you. I have a clarification from Ms. Dorian.
So just to clarify, you mean that the unresponsive SEC members of us or unresponsive SEOs who are not responding to other SEOs?
Please clarify.
Okay, so what I meant was that I want to know, like, your like individual, like what did you do for your team to improve the whole SEC team? Because you all mentioned that you've been in a SEC team before. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Dorian, is the question clear? Please proceed.
Thank you for your question, Dorian Nomini. I believe that at the first of the mandate, we have new SEOs who have problems. So when the team was not that much shaped, I just run in-person sessions to train them. As an example, I can mention the SEO of Turkey, Defne. We had sessions together to have trainings in person and let her know about the responsibilities of being an SEO. Other thing is that I was in connection with all SEOs in my own team, close connection to know what is happening. Whenever there was any problem, I will try my best to solve it. But as I mentioned, sometimes I didn't have the authority to help more, so I have to connect them to the chairperson of Student Exchange. As a member of the SEC committee, so we had SEC members who were not responsive too, so we tried our best to run the sessions as we can. For example, providing the knowledge that we had, try to collect information from the documents that we had, and not letting anything be shut down. For example, running digest, even though it was 5 months, only one digest, but keeping the work up and try to motivate people who were not active, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because we didn't have that much responsibility and that much authority. If we would be the chairperson, I think we can have the power to motivate people, and if there were any consequences to not being motivated. We understand the reasons, but when not being responsive continues for a long time, I believe that there should be some consequences. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nusha, go next, please.
Nusha candidate, thank you for your question. So since some SEOs change their mandate during the year, they might miss the SEO training session. And then when they ask me about like additional questions or so, I provided more information. I was even available for one-on-one like meeting with them to explain everything. If they had any questions for that, I believe the growth of trust in SEC in general improved. Well, I hope it improved. Then for example, for the SEO meetings, when we were looking for SEC members to give the presentations, when they weren't responsive in our group chat, I reached out to them individually and asked them, oh, are you available there or there? If not, it's okay, like tell us about if you have any problems or so. Also, additionally, because we had a lot of problems with unresponsive SEOs and I got a lot of complaints from my SEOs, I tried to motivate other SEC members to keep to look out to those SEOs who are unresponsive. And then I tried to remind them, remind your SEOs about their duties, because if they're unresponsive, actions will be taken. But I don't believe those actions were taken at the end.
Thank you. We have a direct from PSA Taiwan.
So my direct comment would be like, have you ever tried to contact like any other IPSF exco to support you, because your boss is not responsive? Maybe you can ask about other bosses.
Okay, Ms. Nusha, please answer your question.
Nusha candidate. Since I got a response from the chairperson when I reached out, I must admit I didn't think about reaching out to other EXCO members.
Thank you. Ms. Dorian.
Thank you for your question, Dorian Nominee. So yes, we reached out to the chairperson of Student Exchange, and after not responding that much, I told the problem because I'm the CP of the IPSF Iran. I had the connection with the RRO of the EMRO region, so that was mentioned to her and also mentioned in regional sessions to keep action about that and think about that. This was the reason that we received many complaints about what is happening right now. So I keep in mind that having maybe a regional exchange officer can help us, other people who can help us through this chain can help us. And this was the way that I actually reached the RRO and the chairperson of EMRO. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a technical at KNPSV, the Netherlands.
Floor, KNPSV, the Netherlands. Could we turn up the temperature on the ACs or turn them off? Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So we got that covered. We have another technical from APHAASB.
Sorry, it's really warm in the middle. We are burning up.
Okay, technical at Scoops, Algeria.
It's really cold here.
Okay,
we're freezing basically.
So how about we close it for a bit since we have people that are called on the side, and then we can open it again, like rotate. Okay? Seems fair. So next we have. Time's up, everyone. Oh, the direct is over. She directed again? No. PSA Taiwan, do you have a direct? Oh, no? It was the previous one. So we have KNAPS Korea next.
Thank you for the floor. Min Jae from KNAPS Korea. So up to our knowledge, SEP grant has not been granted for two and more years. So I want to ask the candidates if they know anything about why this has not been fully operating, the internal things that you guys know about this, and if elected, how are you guys going to assure that the SEP grant SEP grant not operating would not? How would you make the SEP grant operating in a precise plan, and like how you are planning to make this happen? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dorian.
Thank you for your question. So just as clarification, I wanted to ask if you want to know about the SEP grant which didn't happen this year and what is our plan regarding SEP grants. So thank you for your question, Dorian the nominee. So I believe that SEP grant is usually used to be released the call in June and July, but it didn't happen this year. And we reached out to the chairperson of Student Exchange, and the thing that was said to us is that the treasurer is also responsible for the SEP grant, and this was the action that was not taken. I was also the member of SEC who was added to a group to have consideration about the SEP grants, but no action was taken in that group also. Me, myself, as someone who was included in the SEP grants, I believe that many situations and conditions should be considered for how to give the SEP grants. Maybe the treasurer knows more, but we as SEC bodies or also chairperson of Student Exchange know the situation of organization, for example, how many application forms incoming or outgoings they have, and what about the situation of the whole country. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Nusha.
Nusha candidate, thank you for your question. Yeah, as Dorian mentioned, this year when we reached out to chairperson of Student Exchange, the answer was yes, the treasurer is not responsive. It will come, the call will be out later. So we couldn't do much about it. So for next year, I would try to get into communication with the treasurer as soon as possible at the beginning of the mandate to set the date, to keep him or her, to keep in contact with them throughout the mandate, and then so that grant can be released, since it might have it can be a big help to some of the students to also join the program who are facing more financial issues. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We have a procedural motion from IPSF Portugal.
Beatriz IPSF Portugal, we would like to raise a procedural motion to close the floor for discussion. Thank you very much.
Okay. FJCPPHA Philippines, seconder. All those against? First for Romania, you're against? Okay. One against, all those for? Okay, so motion carried. We will close the floor for discussion and proceed with secret discussion, sorry. Live stream, please, off. Thank you. Live stream is back on. We're just waiting on the candidates.
So thank you, everyone. I know it has been a long session for all of you, and thank you for trusting me. Hope we can have a great SEP mandate together. Thanks.
Thank you. So we will be returning the votes of the District Slovenia and CPSA Croatia back to Snusha. And media team, we will now be having the elections of the regional chairpersons. So we will be starting with the Afro chairperson. Media team, can you please play the video of Miss Michelle? Clarification.
Hello, I am Michelle Mayuba Rachel. I am vying for the position of the chairperson of the African Regional Office, 2023-2024 mandate.
Abif Portugal, can we please stop the video, media team? Go ahead, Abif.
Beatriz Abif Portugal. The Euro region should be having an RA session at 6. Can we clarify if we're still going to do the RA session? At what time are we starting? If we are starting, because there's still 15 minutes to 6. Thank you.
Okay, so. Okay, so we will be assessing the floor. We will be taking the regional chairpersons right now. I mean, if everyone's comfortable with taking the regional chairpersons and then ending the session. So I need to assess the floor. Is it a yes or a no? I see no thumbs, so I really don't know if it's a yes or a no. I need a yes or a no, or should we take the regional? We're assessing to see if we will be, you guys want to continue and take the regional chairpersons elections right now. It's only the regional chairpersons left. So would you like to take them and end the elections? Or, okay, so I see
Yes,
two
ma'am.
thumbs. We have a point of information from IPSF SecGen.
Yeah, point of information, so in IPSF SecGen. So unlike what we discussed before, we're going to be separating the regional chairpersons for voting reasons. So we could just do Afro today and then leave the rest for tomorrow if you guys think it's feasible.
Okay, so I just want to clarify to everyone, we will be presenting each video and we'll have separate discussions, but we will have only one closed discussion at the end for all of them, and we will be voting separately for all of them during this closed discussion just to save time. Is everyone comfortable with this? Or would you like to have closed discussion and voting right after every election? Okay, so I need to see everyone's thumbs, please. I need everyone's opinion. Okay, thank you. We will be presenting for Ms. Michelle, candidate for IPSF Afro chairperson. Please play the video.
Hello, I am Michelle Mayuba Rachel. I am vying for the position of the chairperson of the African Regional Office 2023-2024 mandate. My journey in IPSF started way back in 2020, and throughout this period until now, I have served in different capacities, such as in sub-committees, as the CP of my local association, and as the regional secretary of the regional office. I have done a lot in the federation throughout this time, but my major achievements, especially as the regional secretary, has been one, fulfilling my tasks and responsibilities as stipulated by the IPSF Constitution, two, supporting the RWG members in their roles and responsibilities to ensure that the mandate is a success, and three, representing the regional office and the federation in different forums and conferences within the continent and outside the continent throughout the mandate. This has inspired me to take up a greater role within the Federation, and as I'm vying for this position, throughout my mandate, I hope to fulfill my tasks and responsibilities as per the IPSF Constitution, and to focus on four main goals and focus areas to ensure that the mandate will be a success. These areas include 1. Strengthening the regional partnerships by focusing on the current partners and reviewing our MOUs and looking at activities that we can work with them to strengthen our relations and to ensure the sustainability of their support to the Federation and to the regional office. Secondly, is to seek potential partners, but in a strategic way, such that they're able to help us achieve specific goals and tasks within the regional office and within the Federation throughout my mandate and in future. Secondly, will be to strengthen the regional relations. This will be by having internal meetings to find out how best we can support the different MOs, having visitations in different countries, especially since there will be conferences in various countries throughout my mandate, and working closely with the alumni to ensure that they support the MOs and also eventually support the regional office to ensure the success of our activities. Thirdly, will be to focus on the regional policy work to ensure that we're not only just developing policies, but also having activities within the regional office to kind of address the pharmacy-related problems we're having within the region and to support and strengthen our work or the work that we're doing within the Federation. And fourthly, will be to focus on the regional finances. This will be by 1, trying to ensure that we have more sponsors coming on board to support our activities financially and also to support some of our MOs to ensure that they don't have problems with their membership fee payment and all of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We will now be opening the floor for discussion. Do we have any new comments? I see none, so we will be moving to the next elections of a pro chairperson. Can we play the video of Mancheria?
Dear colleagues, this is Manchri. I'm from PSAT, Thailand, and I'm truly honored to be here today to present my candidacy for the position of the chairperson of the Asia Pacific Regional Office within the IPSF Executive Committee for the 2023 to 2024 mandate. Currently, I'm serving as a regional project officer for the IPSF April, and I have had the privilege to lead various impactful projects under this position. First of all, I would like to mention that I successfully organized the International and Interprofessional AMR Hackathon in a collaboration with IFMSA, IADS, and IVSA. This was to address the critical antimicrobial resistant challenges under One Health approach. Additionally, I took the initiative in organizing the World Mental Health Awareness Project. And this is to emphasize the mental well-being for the pharmacy students and hosted the IPSF April regional professional development projects and competitions to foster the skill development through various engaging events. Looking forward, I'm very eager to undertake new challenges as part of the ongoing projects. I'm collaborating with other RPOs from other regional offices to co-host the international and inter-regional research collaboration. This is to facilitate knowledge sharing among pharmacy students across different regions under pharmacy education portfolio. And I'm also actively involved in planning and coordinating the International Scientific Conference, a milestone event that April will be leading for the first time. My journey with IPSF has been a testament to my commitment to empowering and supporting fellow members. In the past, I had the honor of serving as a leading person for the APPS Chiang Mai 2024 bidding team, and I played a vital role in securing valuable sponsorships, ensuring a smooth transition of responsibilities, and appointing new members to uphold our mission seamlessly. And as for now, APPS 2024 report has been accepted, and I'm also looking forward to see all of you at APPS in Thailand next year. I firmly believe in the power of people and the strength that comes from embracing diversity and empowering unity. If given the opportunity to serve as chairperson of the Asia Pacific Regional Office, my focus will remain on advocating for policy changes that create a supportive learning environment, amplifying the significance of our members, and embracing my role as a go-to person to address their needs effectively. Under the guiding theme of embracing diversity, empowering unity, my vision is to foster inclusivity and equality, celebrate unique perspective, and create positive change through collaboration. I'm devoted to implementing an updated accessible April calendar, expanding project collaboration, and creating a dedicated channel for project proposal to ensure that a collective and inclusive approach has been reached. So I'm confident that my passion for management and my dedication to investing in people will further strengthen the IPSF community, not just April, but all.
Thank you. Now we open the floor for discussion. Do we have any comments? I see none, so we close the floor for discussion and proceed with the next video of Ms. Sava, election of chairperson of Eastern Mediterranean.
Hi, IPSFers. This is Saba Usman, a pharmacist in Kurdish.
Can we please raise the volume, please, and repeat the video?
Hi, IPSFers. This is Saba Usman, a pharmacist in Kurdish. I would like to mention that I just served in a row for 2 mandates as the chairperson of my city on local level. As well, afterwards, I just elected as the president of my association, and right now I'm serving as the advisory board of KPSA Iraq. Also, I would like to mention that on IPSF level, I just like my starting point is that I just worked on our application of KPSF Iraq to integrate our small association to become a part of this family IPSF. Also, I was just selected to be the official delegate of my own association during 66th General Assembly. So my starting point, like I can say, it is my starting point for IPSF. And afterward, I just appointed to serve as the IPSF External Relations Subcommittee member, also IPSF IMRO Regional Relations Subcommittee member for a mandate. And back in time, the previous mandate in Tunisia, I just elected at the IPSF IMRO Regional Relations Subcommittee member. And right now, I'm willing to become the next IPSF IMRO chairperson. Why? Because I really started a good communication with external parties and also initiated a good projects on external relations subcommittee team, and also I have a good and also very well detailed plans for chairperson positions, and also I just served in multiple positions as the decision maker. So right now I can say that I have that confidence that I can serve a regional office. So I'm looking forward for your question. You can see a lot of my plans and my experience in my application form. And finally, I would like to say I really wanted to join you, all of you, as this General Assembly. It will be the last General Assembly that I couldn't able to make it on ground, but hopefully I'm looking forward to see all of you next World Congress in Canada. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we open the floor for discussion. Do we have any comments? I see no new comments. We close the floor for discussion and proceed with the next election of chairperson of Euro office. So we now have the nominee. Mr. Daniel would present.
Dear members of the General Assembly, for those who don't know me, I'm Daniel, the current IPSF Euro chairperson, and more famously known in Bali as the birthday boy who hands out all of your voting cards as the GA scrutineer. And I hope that my speech and nomination form will convince you to use those voting cards to vote for me as IPSF Euro chairperson. So my journey with IPSF has been truly transformative, and standing here as a candidate for Euro chairperson fills me with boundless passion and determination to serve this extraordinary organization. IPSF Euro offers incredible opportunities for personal and professional growth, fostering lifelong connections amongst its members. As chairperson, my vision is to be a unifying leader, inspiring a cohesive team and ensuring the seamless functioning of the region. Having served as IPSF Euro Secretary, BPSA contact person and BPSA student exchange officer, I'm confident in my ability to handle this role as IPSF Euro chairperson. My experience in team management, organization, as well as policy and advocacy has prepared me to effectively fulfill the responsibilities of the chairperson position and work to become an active EXCO member. If entrusted with leading the European Regional Office, I will continue building strong collaborations with our external organizations, such as WHO, IFMSA, and EPSA, initiated by my predecessors. Through fostering open communication and active participation in regular meetings, we can drive positive change and collective growth. An open and inclusive environment is crucial for the upcoming RWG team. I value each member's ideas and contributions, and I plan to enhance engagement through more interactive hangout sessions in the European region and inclusive agenda points during our RWG meetings, CP meetings, and so on. Learning from our experience is essential, and I intend to draw on the lessons learned from this mandate, including my time co-leading the RA, to improve our performance in the upcoming mandate. I'm extremely grateful to have this opportunity to represent you, the IPSF members, on both a European and a global level. It's your dedication that shapes IPSF into the community of determined students and recent graduates committed to positive change. I invite you to review my nomination form and encourage any questions. Together, let us forge a path of growth and progress for IPSF Euro, as well as IPSF Global. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now be opening the floor for discussion. Do we have any comments for Mr. Daniel? Thank you. We close the floor for discussion and move on to the next elections of the Paro office chairperson. Please play the video of Ms. Katia.
Hi everyone, I'm Katia Huertas, and this is my nomination video as a chairperson of PARO for the 2023 and 2024 mandate. For years, I have been involved in some volunteer work related to the education, cancer awareness, and supporting some committees for organizing congresses. I got involved in IPSF Science 2020 as a CP and in the External Relations, Policy, and Auditing Committee in the past years, and the Public Health Committee focused on the climate change this year. I was the best PARO CP in my mandate and second runner for the best global CP. For this mandate, I want to seek order for the visibility of our regional office to increase. For this, I have considered 3 objectives. The first is to improve the structure of our region. It's necessary that we all know our roles with trainings, for example. That opportunities reach all of the members, so a database we will create and continuously update, and we will support the promotion of member organizations. About the second and the third objective, which are related in summarized way, I wish to maintain our links with NGOs and companies to organize events for Paro members and their knowledge in different languages, and focus on the topics such as climate change, mental health, digital health, and NCDs. This year, I have the opportunity to be in Geneva as IPSF delegate for the WHA and was be able to connect with many IPSF members and potential partners for our region. In case you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them and explain more about my proposal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Kathia. We open the floor for discussion. Do we have any new comments? We have none. We close the floor for discussion and proceed to secret discussion. I mean, you're the only candidate, so please leave the room. Of the Zoom. No.
Right now?
Yeah, we're in secret discussion. See, it's fastest selection, so we need the Zoom off, please.
Sorry.
And the live stream off, please.
And in our case, it was actually we had to return the meeting room because it was like reaching 8 p.m. or something. So they said you either stay at the faculty until 8 p.m. or they force us out or something. So that's why they had to
With the
like,
live stream and
close
everyone's back.
close
Can you
discussion.
guys hear me online?
That was the case. Hello.
Yes.
Can
Hello.
you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We're just waiting for Daniel. How far did he go? What did he expect? May I have the candidates on the stage, please? Okay, we'll now be announcing the results of the Afro chairperson. Michelle, 29, spoiled 1. Congratulations, Miss Michelle. Would you like to say something?
I, I didn't prepare a speech for afterwards, but I'd really like to say thank you so much for this amazing opportunity to continue serving in IPSF. And I am really inspired by what you guys discussed during this GA, and I'm really hoping to borrow quite a number of what you guys pointed out in the GA and kind of improve the Afro region from your suggestions and your recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have the results of the APRO chairperson, please. We have Manshri, 30, and reopen 0. Congratulations, Ms. Manshri. Would you like to say something?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry I broke your piece. I hope you accept my apology. And I would like to say that I'm very excited to work the next mandate. And since I'm like living in 2 countries, Thailand and Norway, you could consider me as the inter-regional ambassador. And since I'm also married to a dentist and a doctor, so you can consider me interprofessional person. So all-in-one person is ready to serve you. Hope you have a great time at the GA and have a wonderful trip in Bali. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. We'll have next the results of the IMRO chairperson, please. The voting results are Sava 30, reopen 0. Congratulations, Ms. Sava. Would you like to say something?
Yes, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Executive Committee. Thank you, official delegates, for trusting in me and giving me the chance to implement my ideas and showcase my skills as well as abilities on regional level and international level. It's a huge privilege for me as the first Kurdish to hold this position. I'm so happy, I'm so proud. I would like to send my gratitude to outgoing RWG members, all of them, especially Iftihal and Executive Committee, especially those that I was in direct contact, as they were like my chairperson during the whole mandate, Yifan, and my subcommittee members as well, Taha, Bahi, Mufida, Muhammad, and Ola. And finally, the upcoming RWG team members, Reem, Taha, Nasser, Abdullah, and Maria. We are very, very excited to work on IPSF IMRO, and we are looking forward. Thank you so much for giving me this platform. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have the results of the Euro chairperson, please. We have Daniel 30, reopen 0. Congratulations. Would you like to say something?
Well, this is the best birthday present ever, so thank you to everyone here. Yeah, I also want to say, well, firstly, like, big thank you to all of you guys. Thank you to Isabella. I've learned so much from her, and hope. Yeah, and I really am appreciative of like everything I've learned from you. Hopefully I can replicate the same successes. Thank you to my RWG, everybody that I've worked with throughout the year. Also, it's really great to see the other regional chairpersons on the screen. I'm really looking forward to working with all of you. So thank you, and I look forward to a fruitful mandate. And yeah, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Lastly, we'll have the results of the Paro chairperson. We have Kathia 30, reopen 0. Congratulations, Ms. Kathia. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for believing me. I will give my all to get the proactive and unite us as a region and to all to IPSF. So hope to see you in Canada. Thank you.
Thank you. Procedural motion to suspend the standing orders proposed by FJC PPHA Philippines, second by District of Slovenia. Anyone against? If you do that, we're gonna have to count the 4. Okay, none, thank you. Motion carried, roll call.
Okay, tell me when you guys are ready for roll call. Daniel, you technically can't help because you were nominee this session. Sorry, I know you're trying to be nice. Okay, ASEP Algeria, AFOP Austria, CEPC Canada, CCPSA Czech Republic, PPSA Poland delegated to CCPSA Czech Republic, ANEF France, PPHD Germany, ISMA FASI Indonesia, PPHSF Pakistan delegated to ISMA FASI Indonesia, IPSA Iran, EPSF Egypt delegated to IPSA Iran, APS Japan, MyPSA Malaysia, KMPSV the Netherlands, QFAS Qatar delegated to KMPSV the Netherlands, FJC PPHA Philippines, NZEPSO New Zealand delegated to FJC PPHA Philippines, AFEP Portugal, LPSA Lebanon delegated to AFEP Portugal, KNEPS Republic of Korea, JPSA Jordan delegated to KNEPS Republic of Korea, VESFA Romania, NUSPS Singapore, NEPS Australia delegated to NUSPS Singapore, SPSA Slovakia, DISHFSA Slovenia, CPSA Croatia delegated to DISHFSA Slovenia, PSET Thailand, TPAYC Turkey, BPSA United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, APHA ASP United States of America. Special shout out to PSA Taiwan and KNEPS for the sword candies. I think my voice is definitely getting better. Okay, from Motions Committee?
Sebastian, Motions Committee. Can I just get a show of hands? Like, who wants to submit motions that hasn't submitted the motion yet? Okay, cool. No worries. Thank you. But please try and get them like before midnight, because please don't set it at like 1 minute to midnight.
You will need to submit them before auction night for them to review, and then for you to get them back, and then get the final version to me. So before auction night, please, guys.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Okay, everything collected? Can we let them go? Everything scrutineers, are we all collected? All collected? Okay, congrats, guys, on another day of GA. Woo! Okay, bye-bye. See you at auction night.